Chapter 3, New York Military Academy, Cornwall-on-Hudson, New York, September 1959. And here we go. We are now entering military school. And hut! The soft life that 13-year-old Donald Trump was leading in Queens is over. Yes, it is. Sensing a need for discipline, his parents pack up the Cadillac and drive their tall, good-looking son, yes, I am good-looking, about 60 miles north from Jamaica Estates to a strict, expensive boarding school in the shadow of West Point. The mission? Shaping the kid up to be what I am today. The best president we've ever had in our history. And don't you forget it. The adolescent Donald was growing increasingly restless and defiant. I won't deny that. Something common in the late 1950s America. It was the age of the greaser, when rebels like Elvis Presley, James Dean, and Marlon Brando made the indelible impressions on young people with their sneering disregard for the conformity and convention that had taken deep root in America since the end of World War II. Elvis did have gray hair, but mine is better. You know it's true. In researching exactly why Fred and Mary Ann Trump decided their son needed to be shipped out of the home, I came upon a number of incredibly mean-spirited articles in publications like the New York Daily News and London's Daily Mail, which despise Donald Trump and will say just about anything to hurt him and his family. Yes, indeed. I hate them. But here's the truth as far as I can ascertain it. Donald was an aggressive, competitive child who did not bend easily to the rules. Nope. But I found no malice in his childhood. Of course not. I'm not immoral. He did tease his shy younger brother Robert, who was the opposite of Donnie, as they called him. But President Trump told the truth when he stated that he was rambunctious, not malevolent. And that is the truth. I'm not malevolent. I'm just rambunctious. However, he might have stretched it when he described himself as a perfect child. Says you, Bill. The tipping point for his parents seemed to be disobedience. Donald did not ask permission to go into Manhattan, where he was attracted to the garish streets of Times Square. Apparently, he bought some switchblade knives on his clandestine trips to the city, which he then hid in his room. They were fine collectibles. Fred Trump, in particular, was not happy upon the discovery of the knives. No, he wasn't. He was afraid I was going to do something immoral with those knives. But you didn't, did you? No, of course not. I told you, I'm rambunctious, not malevolent. A stern father who insisted on formality, often wearing a tie in his leisure time, Fred expected good behavior from his children. Yes, he did. And basically got it from the older three and the youngest. But the energetic Donald needed consistent discipline, which Fred could not supply because of his rigorous work schedule. So that's why he shipped me off to military school. Founded in 1889, the New York Military Academy held that a strict structure provided the best environment for academic achievement. And it did. That meant cadets would do as they were told, or suffer punishment. Oh, yes. The academy was all male. Students could not leave on most weekends, and they could never be alone with a girl on campus. Ah, no! Donald Trump spent 5 years there, almost his entire teenage life. My entire teenage life was all military. You could easily mistake me for a buck private in the United States Army. More than 6 decades later, as the Trump political story unfolded, NPR ran a report on his military school experience. Here is a partial transcript. Back in Trump's day, cadets would wake up near the crack of dawn, hurry into uniforms, and march in formation to breakfast. First-year cadets had to eat their meals squared off, lifting their forks in a right angle into their mouths. And after breakfast, they'd scurry back to clean their rooms for inspection. It was hasty. Sitting back in his desk chair on Air Force One, President Trump acknowledges that his parents were worried about his behavior and believes they made the right decision. Of course they did. It shaped me up. Military school, he says, shaped his view of the world. Oh, yes, it did. Military school really did shape my view of the world. And has a tremendous influence. So I had a lot of tough military people at the school. There were ex-drill sergeants. They were very, very strong people out of central casting. And they were able to whip people into shape. And it was a very interesting period of time, because I had never dealt with people like this before. So, we had to acclimate. But we had some very rough military people there, and I really learned to respect the military very much. Were they physical with you? A little bit. Sometimes it was physical. That was not the age where pushing your weight around in a truly physical way would be unthinkable. Yeah, I would say they were physical. They were powerful people physically and emotionally, and really mentally. They were strong people. Did you resent that? No, I didn't resent it. I had to figure a way out of it. I had to figure out a way around it. And I ended up having a lot of friendships with those people. So, you bought into the system and thought this was good for you. I was able to buy into the system, and I did well militarily. It was a very different life for me, but I ended up doing well militarily from the standpoint of a cadet captain. In his senior year at the New York Military Academy, Donald Trump did achieve the status of cadet captain. Oh, yes, I did. A high honor. Very high indeed. That's how well I did in school. He was also captain of the baseball team. Thank God they had a baseball team playing first base. He played soccer as well. You know. By all accounts, the teenage Donald Trump succeeded at NYMA because he was ferociously competitive and focused on achievement. I always do. On October 12, 1963, the school's student body marched in New York City's annual Columbus Day Parade, with the young Trump leading the way. As the parade passed St. Patrick's Cathedral on Fifth Avenue, Donald Trump was greeted by Cardinal Spellman, the first of many encounters with powerful people. Yes, it was. Hey, by the way, am I the only one who notices that Vance keeps slipping up when he keeps reading this book? I'm just pointing out your faults. It's called constructive criticism. That's something that the Democrats can learn. Indeed. In 1964, the school yearbook portrayed Cadet Trump as a solid leader and a ladies' man. Yes, I know how to please the ladies. The latter assumption was based on his parents having brought some girls Donald knew on weekend visits to see him. Apparently, he enjoyed squirring the ladies around campus, but the rule stood: they could never be alone together. I hated that rule. And so it was that Donald Trump graduated from high school a far different person than he was before entering. Yes, I did. And better, if I might say. He had succeeded outside the family home, using guile, determination, and discipline. Now he would prepare for a career. As his sister, Marianne, a recently retired federal judge, once said of her much younger brother, "I knew better, even as a child, than to even attempt to compete with Donald. Even my own sister knew better than to challenge me." Judge Trump's words contain an explicit warning, one that many now wish they had heard. Too little, too late. We will read Chapter 4 in the next video. God bless. And may God continue to bless America. I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. Stop chuckling. Yes, sir.